Um, this is gonna be a conversation on, I guess, just stuff in the world. Alright? And if people like these, I'll do more of them. So, I have one main question. What is good and what is bad? And people usually can put their finger on what is good and bad. Because ultimately, there is a not there isn't a definition or an outline for what's good and bad, right? There can be examples and there can be things that can change from being good and bad, but ultimately there's usually a clear outline, but it's harder for people to understand what is good and bad. And I'm just gonna have some gameplay in the background. But we come to this conclusion that when we think about someone we like or love, that they're always good, right? And then we think of someone like, I'd say maybe Joseph Stalin, which a lot of people think he's bad, and he is. But he also tried to help his country, right? And that is a good thing. And in that way, President Bush would be considered good by many people because he's also killed about 1 million Iraqis for no reason when there wasn't a terrorist organization there and they lied about it. And most people come to ignore that, but it's confusing for people to understand the truth, because ultimately our government lies to us. Every single government lies to us, right? But what differs
Do not cross nature's garden.
other governments compared to America is America, really does not trust their own country. After we'll take it all to one thing. September 11th, 2001. 9/11. And after 9/11, they decided to upgrade security and trying to stop all terrorist organization groups from even beginning. And so what does this mean? They published a man fled to Russia with thousands of United States, I think level 2 access files, and there is like hundreds of them, and each one went into detail about trying to stop terrorist groups, right? And then there was one that really got a lot of people wondering, and it starts with video games, right? It was stated that a game like World of Warcraft could have a guild system and a chat system where people can talk around the world and communicate with each other, right? Which is true. And so what they did is they put people inside the game and had them act like normal people, right? And they do a lot of things, and all of our stuff is, well, tapped, and they're always watching us and all that, which most people know. But at what point is it protecting the country, or just trying to spy on the nation, right? And it all comes down to security. But security shouldn't be one-sided, if you know what I'm talking about. Security should have safety as #1 priority, but also the people do know about some things, but a majority of Americans are retarded. And that's not to say everyone's stupid or all that, but majority of people, actually yeah, majority of people are fucking retarded, okay? Yeah, I really don't know what to say. Just let's think about Andrew Tate, right? America's greatest flaw is itself. The only thing America would fight in World War III is itself, because eventually it'll fall and crumble. Banks aren't safe, because think about it like this. There's only usually $10,000 in a bank at a time, right? That's usually just because the money is always going to people and always coming back, right? So if you want to make a large deposit, like $1 million, it's going to take a lot longer, since you need to make the room and do all that stuff, right? But if you withdraw, if you want to withdraw all your money at one time, it makes it super difficult. And if you want to switch banks, it can make it super difficult, and it can make it to the point where they could end up losing money.
Hardly a match for our strength.
Right? And so people usually get stuck with either one bank or one system of banks for the rest of their lives. And what I do is I just use 2 offshore bank accounts, right? Nothing really fancy. I just use offshore bank accounts, and I just am
I am nature's rage.
Also, money is going to be irrelevant, alright? Except for coins.
We must bolster our ranks.
Stay.
Seek out the withered and soothe their rage. I will beckon them to Shalaran.
They're gonna stay because coins are made out of metal and therefore have value. Right? But $1 is just a piece of paper and cotton. It is cotton. I think it's either cotton or linen, I forgot. But it's one of those, and it's a mixture of those, so that #1, it is waterproof in a way, but think of British, think of the British currency. Think of the euro. The euro is waterproof. Yes, the euro is waterproof. I think that when it boils down to different philosophies, one person or one people cannot decide what is right and just. Each person will think differently about different things. Therefore, you can't come to a conclusion that is, will fix the issue, like world hunger. Right now, I can think of a solution to world hunger, right? Or maybe I can think of a solution to the water, right? I can think of, oh, we can use filtration bags, or we can use filtration straws to make it to where people can drink water from any source, right? But then some people will think of a different solution or a different philosophy in which I would be wrong, but I'm correct. But they, in the way of their own mind, think that they're always right. Everyone thinks they're the main character in the story, right? And no one thinks they're the side character, right? And in that way, I'll say one thing. In that way, people are selfish and self-centered. Not that all people are selfish and self-centered, but it's the way of human nature. A lot of people are bad, and a lot of people only think about themselves. And sometimes it makes me wonder whether I should help people at all, or if I should just have them, kind of have them keep walking in their fire and let them burn. You know what I mean? That's not to say that I'm not going to help people, but I'm not going to help someone that isn't willing to help me in a way. Like, let's make it super easy. Let's say I hold the door for someone, right? And they're in front of me, and they have the door, right? I mean, they don't have the door, but like they're close to it and they're gonna open it, right? And what they do is they slam the door in your face, right? That is what most people would do. So, most people don't have a heart. I think if I really wanted to, I could help a lot of people, right? Everyone can. But I'm not going to if the people aren't willing to either help each other or help humanity. So, it comes down to, I think these people are very self-centered, and yes. But I also think there is a smaller amount of people that have a pure heart. And
What the? What jokes to spread so many acorns in Lunafil? I realize this task is of the humble variety, but could you relocate some of those squirrels and crack a few nuts while you're at it?
What it boils down to is someone's philosophy, right? But a person, most people are always going to be self-centered. That's just the way the brain works. They think of themselves as the main character. But all I want is just to maybe help people out or do other stuff, right? But ultimately, my so-called decision to help people is false. In that way, I am willing to, but I'm not willing to sacrifice stuff for myself. If they're not willing to.
Ours is the strength of the wild.
It's like a potluck, right? And you go to the potluck and you bring a large bowl of mac and cheese, right? But what they do is they say, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the store. I'm just gonna buy some. I'm just gonna buy some. I don't know. They just go out and buy just a can of green beans, right? And you put in the work to make your mac and cheese, put breading on top, add extra layers of cheese, and did the work and cooked it and all that. And what they do is they just bring in a can of beans, and they think that's good enough. Well, it isn't, right? And so you don't want to give them the mac and cheese, right? Because they're being self-centered by not putting in the effort for the potluck for all of them. All of it, everyone needs to put in the work for a potluck to work, right? Or else the food is just gonna be bad. In that way, humanity, all of us need to help each other
Do
out.
not cross nature's guardians.
But in that way, we can find ourselves being self-centered and all that. What I'm just trying to say is, think with an open mind, and even though I'm probably
the ancient grounds of Lothian have long been abandoned.
Smart.
Now our ancestral land is overrun with beasts.
Always be
I
humble.
cannot bear to
Always
see
be
it in
humble.
such a state. Please make it right again, champion.
Always be humble in the way you think, right? You're not always gonna be correct. Humans make mistakes, not like robots do too, but very, very less likely, right? So just always keep in mind, you're not always gonna be right all the time. And you're not always gonna have the right decision all the time. And if you make a bad decision, sometimes you just have to open up to it, right? And that's fine, because a lot of bad decisions.
Do not cross nature's guardians.
A lot of people make bad decisions. A lot of people make mistakes, but it's alright. Just be humble and just at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You make money and you have this circle of life that's kind of meaningless, you know? And that's what I just want to talk about.